Broadcasting from 88.3 FM WXUT studio, this is your Saturday morning weekly news update. It is 7:45 in the morning and today is October 23rd. It is expected to be chilly with a high of 52 and a low of 40 degrees. These stories were researched and reported by student journalists at UT 10 News. Let's begin. Since last year, there has been approximately a 400% increase in catalytic converter thefts. A UT student found one daring thief attempting theft on her car, parked in front of Super Fitness off of Telegraph and Alexis. Reporter Daisy Caruso spoke with Courtney Jagilski about it.
It was in the middle of the day, it was sunny out. It was in a parking lot with not that many cars at a gym where people were walking in and out. So the guy had some pretty big guts on him to do that.
Jagilski says if she had walked even a couple minutes later, her converter would have been stolen. Mechanic and co-owner of Paiseki Complete Auto Repair, Jim Paiseki, says there are 3 expensive metals in the converters that make them attractive to thieves.
As soon as they start up the car, it would be pretty obvious because you wouldn't have any muffling to it now. Now it's just going to be a straight exhaust just going right out. It's going to be really loud.
Older cars are more prone to being targeted as they have comparatively more precious metals. Chief of UT Toledo Police Jeff Newton says,
the best thing to do is report suspicious activity. You can park in a well-lit place. You can set your car alarm sensitivity where in some cars where it will go off if someone is messing around with the car. Granted, it may cause your alarm to go off if somebody bumps into it, but nonetheless, that's a step that you can take.
Local police say it happens usually in night with areas of poor lighting. The price of replacing a converter is high, even with insurance. A bill in Ohio House of Representatives is hoping to protect consumers from this by limiting the ability to sell catalytic converters without proof of ownership. Researchers at UT Toledo recently created a potential vaccine to help cure inflammatory arthritis. While there is more research and work to be done, many believe these discoveries could manifest into something life-changing in the future. UT 10's Tiara Medley talked to the assistant professor of the Department of Physiology and Pharmacology, Dr. Ritu Chakravarti, to learn more.
So we put in this protein with a kind of immune adjuvant to stimulate the immune response and put it in the animals which were prone to the inflammatory arthritis, and we saw very, very efficient protection.
Their next step is finding out if the vaccine can cure pre-existing arthritis. They have initiated the disease in animals and were able to cure it before it became symptomatic. They, however, don't know if the vaccine could work once the ailment has settled in. Their goal right now is to make sure the vaccine is safe and doesn't initiate any other diseases.
Once we figure that out and we are confident, then the immediate goal will be to start the human clinical trial.
According to Dr. Chakravarti, 1% of the world's population is affected by this disease. And according to the CDC, 23% of adults in the U.S. are affected by it, with 1 in 4 of those adults reporting severe joint pain. Researchers are hopeful. Jenna McGowan is Dr. Chakravarti's research assistant and believes the vaccine has a lot of potential.
It was pretty amazing, actually, just how different or how effective the 1433 protein was at preventing arthritis. It's like night and day if you look at the inflammation between animals that weren't treated with 1433 and those that were.
With there being different models of arthritis, more research needs to be done in order to determine which model the vaccine would work best for.
Dr. Chakravarti believes we could possibly have a vaccine in 5 years if they receive enough financial support from the community and industrial partners. UT Toledo has made it mandatory for all faculty, staff, and students to get the COVID vaccines as well as flu shots. Through Rocket Health, Health Services will host flu clinics at the medical center. They said that hundreds of students have been vaccinated. The deadline to take shots is November 15 for COVID and December 1st for the flu, and walk-in appointments are welcome. Your fear of needles isn't the only thing that gives you goosebumps during Halloween. Squid Game has made a staggering $900 million for Netflix. Netflix's most trending show remains a fan favorite. Reporter Trent Croce spoke with a psychoanalyst, Dr. Scott Bowles, to find out the reason behind its popularity. He dived deeper into why we get attracted to Squid Games and violent crime TV shows.
But it's very intensive, very involved. Involves education, a personal psychoanalysis, which you don't hear about as much these days, but is a very excellent way of understanding oneself.
Dr. Bowles thinks it might serve as a coping mechanism.
Some would maybe use denial. Others might use a healthier coping mechanism called sublimation, which is to sort of live vicariously through the movie or the TV show in a way that captures part of ourselves, but doesn't actually live it out in real life.
Bowles says it is intriguing to watch and experience other people's problems by consuming the media out of it. Crime and violent media also serve as a rush for adrenaline junkies. And moving on to sports, UT 10's Caleb Gill gives us an update about Rocket Athletics.
The Rockets volleyball team had a hard-fought weekend against the Western Michigan Broncos on October 15th and 16th. The Rockets volleyball team was able to get off to a hot start in each of their two matches, but how they finished each match was a different story. On a night where Toledo may have thought they could win the match in 3 sets, the Western Michigan Broncos showed that they wouldn't go away that easy. Western was close in the first 2 sets, but Toledo was able to squeeze by with scores of 26-24 in the first set and 25-22 in the second set. By the time the third set had come around, Toledo had gotten an early 8-2 lead, and all they had to do was not blow it. However, an 11-1 run from the Broncos was exactly what they needed to jumpstart their comeback. The end of the set featured a lot of back and forth between the two teams, but the Broncos would outlast the Rockets, winning the set 25-22. The Broncos would use the momentum from the previous set to get out to a 16-5 lead that Toledo was never able to come back from. This allowed the Broncos to win the 4th set 25-18 and send the match into a 5th set where Toledo just didn't have any answers for the Broncos. Maggie King's 5 kills in the final set helped lead the way for the Broncos to come back from being down 2 sets to winning the match, ending the Rockets' 5-match win streak. Sophomore Taylor Alt was able to get a season-high 26 kills for the Rockets, but was still not enough to win the match. After losing the way they did the night before, Toledo wanted to make sure they avoided doing the same thing in the second match of the weekend. Toledo was able to take hold of the first 2 sets, winning the first set 25-21 and the second set 25-17. In a bit of deja vu though, the Broncos were able to avoid getting swept in 3 sets and won the third set 25-22. The 4th set was beginning to feel eerily similar to the match from the night before, with Western getting a 21-17 lead before Toledo began clawing back. Toledo would then go on to score the next 8 points and win the set 25-21, which allowed them to avoid going to a 5th set for a second straight night and instead win the match in 4 sets. Taylor Alt once again led the way for the Rockets with 21 kills on the night, followed up by junior Senia Alave, who had 15 kills and 15 digs. This helped to give Alave her 5th double-double of the year. The volleyball team is currently on the road at Northern Illinois to take on the Huskies, while the football team will be back home today to take on the Western Michigan Broncos. The University of Toledo has lost one of its own. Rockets alumni Sarah Tumfung lost her battle with cancer earlier this week. The Toledo Athletic Department released a statement that says in part, "We mourn the passing of former women's golfer Sarah Lang Tumfung. We extend our deepest condolences to Sarah's family, friends, teammates, and coaches. You will forever be in our hearts." She was also a Department of Communications student. Professor Dr. Jacqueline Lang said that Sarah was sweet but strong and a fighter, and I know she will be missed by many. Other former professors in the department and the golf team have expressed how much she will be missed.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m. And you can catch UT 10 News live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Deepa Bhujbal. Have a great day.
Five blocks. Day 2 of the weekend series featured a lot of the same. The only time Kent State led in the first set was after they scored the first point. From then on, it was all Toledo, who took hold of the first set with an 8-2 lead and went on to win it 25-18. For a second straight night, the second set was more competitive than the other 2 sets. This one was neck and neck for a while, being tied up at 18, before Toledo pulled away at the end, winning the set 25-20. Hoping to avoid getting swept again, Kent State was able to get 11-9 lead in the third set. This was until Toledo scored the next 6 points. With the Rockets up 15-11, there was hardly any doubt of the Rockets completing the sweep. Toledo did accomplish a sweep with a score of 25-16 in the third set. Sophomore Taylor Alt had 11 kills, while junior Olivia Vance got 10 kills on the night. Women's soccer will be back home this Sunday to take on the Ball State Cardinals. Also, make sure to come out to the Rockets football homecoming game this Saturday, where the Rockets will be taking on the Northern Illinois Huskies.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m., and you can catch UT10 News live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Deepa Bhujbal. Have a great day.
Their first MAC game last Thursday against Northern Illinois, the Rockets came into Sunday's game hoping to start MAC play with 2 wins. In doing so, this required a strong performance from Emma Batorwick, who did not allow a single one of Western's shots on the goal. This is now Batorwick's 6th shutout of the season. Sophomores Ellie Poole and Grace Tursky each scored a goal for the Rockets, with Tursky getting one in the 37th minute and Poole getting one almost immediately after halftime in the 46th minute. The Rockets would go on to beat the Broncos 2-0. Freshman McKenna Schultz also played a major role in the Rockets getting 2 shutouts this weekend, which allowed her to be named MAC Defensive Player of the Week.
And that's it for this week, and thank you for joining us today. For more news, make sure to tune in every Saturday at 7:45 a.m., and you can catch UT10 News live every Thursday at noon, or watch it on WGTE Public Media, Fridays at 6:30 p.m. For 88.3 FM WXUT, I'm Deepa Bhujbal. Have a great day.